out.
But why single
China's
out?
the aggressive one in the South
No,
China Sea,
why single out China? That's why I said this is the discourse of the West.
Hold on. That's
No,
not the
this
discourse of the West.
is the discourse of the West.
Hold on. Japan, the Philippines,
Yes.
multiple neighbors have called out China.
We have
That's not a
issues,
Western problem.
neighbor issues, boundary issues
with China.
And the Philippines and Indonesia and Singapore and Brunei and Thailand.
You do.
Yes.
But all I'm saying is a lot
But
of
we don't go to war with these countries.
In August, the Wall Street Journal published an article about your country with the headline being "Anger over US's Gaza policy opens door wider for China." And a lot of American think tanks like the Wilson Center in DC are saying that China is exploiting the Gaza issue to get closer to a lot of Muslim majority countries. Do you think that's true? And do you feel Malaysia's relationship with China has grown stronger since October the 7th?
Long before October 7th, we have had excellent, or should I say good bilateral relation. But when I assume office, I have decided that, look, we have to work with our neighbors. ASEAN is a priority. We have India, we have China, we have Australia. We've given the clear foreign policy prescription.
But you've praised China's stance on Gaza while you've criticized the US's, right?
Yeah, because they've taken a position that's quite familiar, similar to ours.
Position, though, isn't it? Do you believe that China gives a damn about the people of Palestine?
Well,
given what they're doing to Muslims in Xinjiang, you know about the Uyghur situation. Can a country that treats its own Muslims so badly really give a damn about them?
I don't think it's a fair to compare these two situations where you have complete genocide and open killings on a daily basis with the issue Uyghur. And with Uyghur, unlike the Israeli position,
many people believe what's happening in Xinjiang with the Uyghurs is also a genocide.
I dispute that. But notwithstanding that there are differences, there are issues with the people of Uyghur, there are avenues. Unlike Israel, which has refused to have any discussion.
No, China does not discuss the Uyghur situation. Has it discussed the Uyghur?
Well, in private, I do discuss.
Do you condemn what's happening to the Uyghurs?
I discuss, I ask questions, and
do you condemn it? Because you're condemning Israel, so I'm just asking if.
Well, if I'm convinced that there are evidence, not necessarily from Western propaganda.
It's from groups like Amnesty that supported you.
Yes, that's why I raised the issue. Precisely because of that, I raised the issue.
What answer did you get back?
Well, they said they're
going to deny it, obviously.
Of course, they deny, but what's more important, Mehdi, is that they do take this into consideration. You see, it's not bare denial.
I interviewed Imran Khan, and this is prior to him going to prison, obviously, and he refused to say anything critical of China either. There's a view that says a lot of Muslim leaders are happy to criticize America, Israel, Europe, but they won't criticize China because they rely too much on China. Is that fair?
It is not fair because this attempt like, equating Ukraine with Gaza. Or equating Uyghur issue with Gaza.
Well, let's talk about Ukraine.
No, it's completely, to me, is unfounded because it is grossly unfair.
Okay, so forget Gaza for a moment. Just Ukraine. You mentioned Ukraine.
Yes.
Do you condemn Vladimir Putin's illegal invasion of Ukraine and his annexation?
I have. In my Ungar speech, I've condemned the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But it's a different situation. But partly because Putin is prepared to enter into a negotiation. I've said it in Vladivostok in front of Putin.
You also praised Putin as well there.
I praise him for other issues, for Global South, for BRICS.
So again, the cynic would say, and I'd love to hear your response to this, that Malaysia right now is trying to join the BRICS, right? Which is, of course, the economic coalition of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And do you feel that Malaysia's economic interest, you're a middle-income country, you're not a superpower, you have aspirations, and we'll talk about that. But do you believe that need to be part of BRICS means you would like to say more about China or Russia, but you can't?
Not necessarily. I've said it publicly about the invasion of Ukraine. I've discussed with the Chinese leaders, and they have been quite, prepared to at least listen and give the avenue. I have praised America on a number of issues.
So you're playing a balancing act?
Not balance, what I consider is right and what is important for the country.
Fair play. During a recent meeting with Putin on Ukraine, you talked about the, quote, enormous potential for enhancing trade relations with Russia. And unfortunately, when I see that, I can't help but think of former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan, who in 2022 was removed from office in a coup that a lot of people believe the US was involved in and was driven by what they thought was his closeness with Russia. Do you worry about your own seat of power here going up against the US? Do you have discussions in Malaysia about what might the US do to me if I get too close to Russia or China?
The intelligence agencies are more worried.
Yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Fair, and I listen, but I think
They're worried about the US?
No, they're worried because they understand the geopolitics, they understand what's happening, what has been happening in Africa and many other countries. Yes, but I assured them, look, we should continue to maintain good relations with the United States. I mean, largest foreign investments is still from the United States, cumulatively is from the United States. They have a lot of interest here. Now, we have not, I mean, to be fair, we have not seen any sign of the United States meddling into international
That's what
politics.
I was about to ask. Have they not spoken to you? No one from the administration has reached out to you or your people to say, what is Anwar saying about Putin or China or Hamas? We've not heard any...
Well, most of it regarding China, and of course some concerns about my visit to Vladivostok. But we did explain, China is an important neighbor, it's the largest trading partner now. And we don't have issues. Or you talk about South China. Yeah, South China, we have issues with all our neighbors. But why single out?
The aggressive one on the South
no,
China Sea,
why single out China? That's why I said this is the discourse of the West.
Hold on. That's
no,
the discourse of the West.
Is the discourse of the West.
Hold on. Japan, the Philippines,
yes.
Multiple neighbors have called out.
We have issues, neighbor issues, boundary issues with China and the Philippines and Indonesia and Singapore and Brunei and Thailand.
You do?
Yes.
But all I'm saying is a lot
But
of
we don't go to war with these countries. We engage with them, we discuss with them. So is with China.
What's the solution with China, by the way?
Bilateral, multilateral, ASEAN, we continue to negotiate.
Let's talk about Gaza, a big issue globally for a lot of our viewers, for a lot of people around the world. You've been quite outspoken about Israel's assault on Gaza, even calling it a genocide, a word that many Western leaders try to avoid saying at all costs. What has it been like for you personally, as a Prime Minister of Malaysia, as a Muslim, as a father, to see what we have seen unfolding on our TV screens, on our phones for the past year?
Well, I've followed this case for the last many decades. I've been even arrested when I was a student leader supporting the Palestinian cause, that is of Arafat. I've attended the PLO session.
I think he called you a son of Palestine.
Yes, in 1983 or much earlier. And so it's not new. But the sheer hypocrisy of many of the countries in the West to condone this, to me, is shocking, it's appalling. And therefore, we have to speak up. I mean, Malaysia is a small country, but I think it is a voice of conscience. I represent the vast majority of Malaysians.
I think you represent the vast majority of a lot of people around the world. You mentioned hypocrisy on this issue. In May, when you were asked if the US is complicit in the war crimes Israel is committing, you said that you are, quote, in no position to deny that. Does that mean that, in your view, President Joe Biden of the United States, who has been driving much of that support for Israel, giving aid, giving bombs in an almost unconditional way, is he complicit in those war crimes? Is he complicit in the genocide that you have identified in Gaza?
Well, complicity in the genocide per se is, of course, a strictly legal question. But
morally?
In certain, there's, of course, I've said that, moral abandonment, which means you condemn, you say ceasefire, at the same time you've been sending weapons. So there's clearly, to me, sheer hypocrisy.
From Joe Biden?
From the United States administration.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the Prime Minister of Malaysia is right for confronting the reporter on why he singled out China? Please leave your comment below. We would love to hear from you.